Good morning, HoustonFloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning my guest is Eric Boender, a vice president with Starnet Worldwide. Eric, how you doing?
Great, Kemp.
You've agreed to be my correspondent at the CFI convention. The Certified Flooring Installers Convention happens every year. This is actually the 24th annual convention. It's down in Orlando at the Rosenshingle Creek. It started yesterday and runs through tomorrow. Let's start out first talking about Starnet. Y'all haven't had a meeting in a while. Are the members doing okay?
Members are doing well. It was a strong second quarter for the group. We're having good initial sign-ups for our convention that's going to be taking place at the end of October. So we're optimistic on the second half of the year and the backlogs the members have.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That meeting is in California in October, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, back to this convention. How many years have you been going to this?
This is probably my fifth or sixth year.
And this is one of your focuses within Starnet. You do kind of keep tabs on what's going on from a technology standpoint, from a service standpoint. It's been identified by the industry that the availability of installers is probably one of the biggest issues the industry faces. So tell us about, first off, on the participation. How big is the crowd versus, say, 2019?
Well, the crowd this year is 173 attendees, which in 2019, it was about a little over 200. So they're down maybe 15 or 20%.
And there's some new folks there, right?
Yeah, we have 73 first-timers, which when I talked to Robert Vartan, who's leader of CFI and the champion of the group, he was pleased with that number of 73 new attendees, and he thinks that's a reflection of the number of new training that they're doing and the effectiveness they're having with recruiting. So that's a positive sign for the industry.
What does Robert tell you the buzz is down there? What are some of the things that are most important about what they're addressing this year?
Well, as we're bringing in a lot of new installers, it's important to talk about staying out of trouble as an installer, which ultimately is avoiding claims.
Yeah.
So there was a couple breakout sessions just yesterday on claims or job site conditions, which the manufacturers do a great job volunteering their time and resources to train these folks. So I would say that's a recurring theme we see year after year. But this year, with the number of new attendees, it was extra important.
Trade show is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they've been doing education sessions. They've had some speakers and some workshops in the first 2 days. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. They had an event on LinkedIn was one of the workshops, which is a good idea as more of these younger installers embrace that. And even the older installers are talking about their LinkedIn account. So that's been embraced across the industry. And they had some other product demonstrations. So those are interesting to see because a lot of times these guys are working on the job sites and not seeing the new innovations that are out in the field.
Now, the guy who was the face of this initially was Jim Walker, and I understand that he and his wife were coming to this. Did they come to this meeting?
Yeah, they are here. It's funny. You can almost see a crowd follow them around because people are always pleased to see Jim. He's got a great attitude and a great outlook on this industry and a ton of knowledge. So, yeah, Jim is here, and the group loves having him here.
Yeah, you know, he was in Kansas City for a long time, but I think he's retired into Colorado now, hasn't he?
That's what I've heard also.
So are there any aha moments?
Well, I think the aha moment was when we were doing the presentation yesterday on the sheet vinyl that most of the installers are talking about how much work they're doing with carpet tile and LVT, and there's some concern around the craft of sheet vinyl. We believe that the development of those type of installers is going to be important. So that was a moment where people were like, maybe I should consider getting into sheet vinyl because there's going to be a lot of work there in the upcoming years.
Tell us about the sponsors.
Yeah, the sponsors, they're great with giving giveaways and raffles, bring some excitement to the group. You know, you see these different tools. Wolf always does a good job with some of their new innovations. The installers love getting their hands on these new tools. So that group certainly brings some excitement to the group, to the trade show the same way. That's one of the highlights of the group.
You remember, I know Target's there, Congolium's there. Do you remember some of the lead sponsors?
Some of the other sponsors that are here, we have Track this year, we have GCP. Saw the guys from Shernox are here. I talked to a guy from Mohawk yesterday. So, yeah, we have some big players here at this event.
So Starnet's focused in the commercial market. You know, we know it's kind of 1/3, 2/3 commercials versus residential when you start talking about the dollar value of what's installed. Is the focus mostly commercial, or is it kind of a blend?
It's a blend. In fact, it probably leans a little bit residential.
Okay.
And we're seeing quite a few installers that can go across both. Certainly guys that are doing LVT and carpet tile. some of those crossovers that way, but it probably does lean a little bit more residential.
I noticed one of the seminars, just because I was planning on going until I had an incident that kept me from going. One of them was, are you ready for an immigration raid? That sounds like an interesting topic.
I think that's a good topic. The little history of our country is we had the Italians come in the early 1900s, and there was concerns, and the Irish. But history has told us immigration is good for our country and actually helpful for our industry.
Yeah. One of the other ones was solutions for subfloor challenges. So that continues to be a big issue, right?
Yes, moisture. It's funny, I was talking to somebody yesterday who's been in the industry for 25 years, and they say there's always floor prep and moisture. And probably 25 years from now, people will still be talking about that.
Yeah. Is there any new tools everybody's looking at because they're innovative?
There's a couple new tools. Really on the sheet vinyl side, there's some welders that are battery-powered.
Yeah.
So it's really taking the tools out of the guy's hands. So that's kind of exciting. And, of course, there's more kind of remote control removal machines. So that continues to innovate. It's a different look than it was 5 years ago.
Continued mechanization. Okay. All right, Eric, we appreciate the update and telling our listeners what's going on in Orlando at the CFI meeting. Again, been talking to Eric Boender, a vice president with Starnet Worldwide, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.